Hi, I'm Sally from ProAlign, and today we're going to be looking at a mobilizer series that works primarily into the hips, but also into the spine. It has a nice flowing sequence to it. I hope you enjoy. So starting kneeling with one leg forwards, the hips need to be parallel, and with a backwards tilt of the pelvis. We're going to have a gentle forward mobility in the pelvis and adding an arm. This is going to pulse backwards, increasing the stretch into the hip. Secondly, we take the hip out on a 45-degree angle and sink, opening into the inner thighs on both sides. We can add a reach with the arm, a little like a Saturday Night Fever movement. After this, we bring the leg forwards and come into pigeon pose. Now, if you have any problems with your knees, you want to avoid this position. We can either come forwards onto the forearms, or if you're supple enough, all the way down onto the floor. Hold this for a couple of breaths. We want to think about rotating the pelvis into a parallel position. From here, take the weight onto the forearms and down onto the tummy, where we come into some back extension. Maybe about 2 or 3 repetitions, inhaling as you come up, exhaling as you come down. Try not to hinge in the low back, but pull forwards as you extend. We transition into extended child pose, sitting back, and then coming into a threading underneath. So this here works into the thoracic spine. If you imagine sticking your arm down into some glue and then trying to pull it back off the floor, this will increase the stretch into the rib area. We're then going to repeat the whole sequence onto the other side. So with the hips parallel, tucking the pelvis under and add a very small pulse in a forward direction. Then adding the arm up, reaching up nice and high and increasing the stretch through the front of the hip. We then move the leg out to the side and sink deeply into the inner thigh, working both adductors or both groin. Adding in our arm reach, this is optional, remember. We then take the leg across the body and into our pigeon pose on the other side. Again, bringing the pelvis so it's parallel and forwards, and taking a few deep breaths here, directing the breath down into the back of the hip. Take the weight through and onto the tummy. And this time we're going to look at stretching into the quads or front of thigh. Keep the thighs and knees together and gently bring the foot towards the bottom. If you can't quite reach around, you might want to use a belt or a towel just to loop around the foot and bring it in towards the bottom. After we release here, pushing back into child pose again, resting back, reaching the arms forwards. Tuck the feet under and we push back into down dog position, where we're going to work through pushing alternate heels down to the floor and stretching into the calves. Sink deeply into the shoulders here as well. And when you're done, just walking and have a return roll up. Okay, hope you enjoy it.